Hello, my name's JulieJo and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, hit that subscribe, that like, and turn on the notifications so that you'll get the alert when my videos come out. If you're not new here, welcome back. I am so happy that you're here. I am so grateful for the people that send me these videos. Seriously, if you have a video of a training or a link to a training, feel free to email it to me. If you have a horror story or top fails, the email is in my description. It's also right here, iamjuliejo@gmail.com. If you aren't yet, you definitely should be following me on TikTok and Instagram. It is walking on Lexapro. Walking_on_Lexapro. On those, you can see the everyday things that I post. I do anti-MLM content on the daily. Today we'll be talking about Monat and looking at a video that was sent to me. Monat? I know it's not Monet. I don't really care what you call it. I just know that it's shitty MLM hair care products. The hun we are going to see today does say a lot of really harsh things and is really intensely brainwashing. It is kind of hard to watch, so if you feel like you might be triggered, it might be a good time to click off, but it's definitely worth staying if you feel like this is something that you are going to be able to watch. Before we get into this video, I always love to look at the income disclosure statement, so let's take a look at Monat's. I think it's important to show the receipts before we start, just so that everyone's well aware of what people are getting themselves into once they join this company. As you can see, 92.26% of the people in Monat are market partners. The average annual earning is $161. That's a year. And the median annual gross earning, which is actually more accurate, is $0. So it's safe to say that the majority of market partners earn $0, which is 92.26% of the company. Wow, sounds like a great business opportunity to sell shitty hair care products that allegedly makes people's hair fall out. I don't think it's important to go into the other levels just because I previously gone over it in another video, and honestly, it just doesn't look very good. But as you can see, this is not a great business opportunity. What I want to do is I want to look at the bite model. Please, as I read this off, it's going to take a couple of minutes, but it is so extremely important for us to look at this. So important. Because as I say this, you're going to go, oh shit. Oh shit. This is literally Steven Hassan's bite model of authoritarian control. Steven Hassan is an American mental health counselor who specializes in destructive cults. So when I read this off, just know he knows what the hell he's talking about. The first one is behavior control. And if you look at this list, regulate individuals' physical reality. By the way, you only need 3 of these for it to be a cult. So regulate individuals' physical reality. Dictate where, how, and with whom the member lives and associates or isolates. When, how, and with whom the member has sex, control types of clothing and hairstyles, regulate diet, food and drink, hunger and or fasting, manipulation and deprivation of sleep, financial exploitation, manipulation or dependence, restrictive leisure, entertainment, vacation time, major time spent with group, indoctrination and rituals and or self-indoctrination including the internet, permission required for major decisions, rewards and punishments used to modify behaviors both positive and negative, discourage individuals, encourage group think. So that's behavior control. And as we go through this and you feel like you see one or you hear one, I mean, I've already seen some from behavior control from her already. Feel free to comment below and look into this yourself too. It's Steven Hassan's bite model of authoritarian control. And information control is next. The first one's deception, which deliberately withhold information, distort information to make it more acceptable, and systematically lie to the cult member. I mean, essentially a multi-level marketing company in my opinion right there. Number 2, minimize or discourage access to non-cult sources of information, including internet, TV, radio, books, articles, newspapers, magazines, media, critical information, former members, keep members busy so they don't have time to think and investigate, control through cell phones with texting, calls, internet, and tracking. Number 3, compartmentalize information into outsider versus insider doctrines. Ensure that information is not freely accessible. Control information at different levels and missions within group. Allow only leadership to decide who needs to know what and when. Encourage spying on other members. Impose a buddy system to monitor and control member. Report deviant thoughts, feelings, and actions to leadership. Ensure that individual behavior is monitored by group. 5. Extensive use of cult-generated information and propaganda, including newsletters, magazines, journals, audio tapes, videotapes, YouTube, movies, and other media. Misquoting statements or using them out of context from non-cult sources. 6. Unethical use of confession. Information about sins used to disrupt and or dissolve identity boundaries without withholding forgiveness or absolution. Manipulation of memory, possible false memories. So that's just like behavior control, information control. I know you're probably like, oh, she's going to go through all of them, but listen to thought control and emotional control, because these two are really big in this instance. And really, if you've already heard a few, 1, 2, or more that you've heard, comment below which from the bite model that you essentially think is part of MLMs or is a part of this conversation. So thought control. Require members to internalize the group's doctrines as truth, adopting the group's map of reality as reality. Instill black and white thinking. Decide between good versus evil. Organize people into us versus them, insiders versus outsiders. Change person's name and identity. Use of loaded language and cliches which constrict knowledge. Stop critical thoughts and reduce complexities into platitudinous buzzwords. Encourage only good and proper thoughts. Adds toxic positivity. Hypnotic techniques are used to alter mental states, undermine critical thinking, and even to age regress the member. Memories are manipulated and false memories are created. Teaching thought stopping techniques which shut down reality testing by stopping negative thoughts and allowing only positive thoughts, including denial, rationalization, justification, wishful thinking, meditation, praying, speaking in tongues, singing, or humming. Rejection of rational analysis, critical thinking, constructive criticism. Forbid critical questions about leader, doctrine, or policy allowed. Labeling alternative belief systems as illegitimate, evil, or not useful. Instill new map of reality. Please, let's talk about emotional control. This is the last one and we're going to get back to the video. Manipulation and narrow the range of feelings. Some emotions and or needs are deemed as evil, wrong, or selfish. Teach emotion stopping techniques to block feelings of homesickness, anger, and doubt. Make the person feel that problems are always their own fault, never the leader's or the group's fault. Promote feelings of guilt or unworthiness, such as identity guilt. You are not living up to your own potential. Your family is deficient. Your past is suspect. Your affiliations are unwise. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are irrelevant or selfish. Social guilt, historical guilt. Instill fear, such as fear of thinking independently, the outside world, enemies, losing one's salvation, leaving or being shunned by the group, others' disapproval, or extremes of emotional highs and lows. Love bombing and praise one moment and then declaring you are a horrible sinner the next. Ritualistic and sometimes public confessions of sins. Phobia, indoctrination, inculcating irrational fears about leaving the group or questioning the leader's authority. No happiness or fulfillment possible outside of the group. Terrible consequences if you leave. Shunning of those who leave. Fear of being rejected by friends and family. Never a legitimate reason to leave. Those who leave are weak, undisciplined, unspiritual, worldly, brainwashed by family or counselor, or seduced by money, sex, or rock and roll. And threats of harm to ex-member and family. So before we started this video, I know that took a little bit of time and I hope you didn't click off, but that is so incredibly important before we get started, and I think it's important just to know that in general. As we go through the video, please comment below if you hear one of those. Now that we've covered that, let's get into the video. It is a training, and this person is doing, I think, a Zoom and then an Instagram, and so she actually posted this on her Instagram, and I'm not going to get into her name, I'm not going to show her face, I will blur it out, but that is why she is looking forward and then at her phone, because she is looking at Zoom and also recording it on her phone to post to Instagram. Oh my god. I cannot believe I forgot to put up Dwight. St. Dwight, I am so sorry. Holy shit. I cannot believe I forgot to put up St. Dwight. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Let's forget the fact that I forgot to put St. Dwight up. He is now watching over the video. We're all good in the...
Just learned, okay? I am 28 years old. I'm about to be 29 next week. So it took 28 years of life for me to realize how many of us are always stuck in a comfort zone. Okay, and it can be a ton of different things. It can be a relationship, it can be a career, it can be a friendship, a living situation, and we ignore it, okay? Because our comfort zone is just so comfortable. It's safe. It's what we know. And a lot of the times, that is one of the main reasons why we are not succeeding, why we are not moving up in life, why you are not finding true happiness. Okay, and
so I want to stop there because I see what she's saying. I do. I get that, sometimes we are in our comfort zone too much and we don't step out of it, but nothing is essentially wrong with your comfort zone. You can be comfortable where you are and find true happiness. And she says this multiple times throughout the video, and I cover it a lot later on. But I want to start off by saying, if you're comfortable where you are, good for you. You don't have to change a damn thing if you don't want to. You don't have to listen to these huns that tell you you have to change yourself. Don't. If you're happy where you are, good for you. Don't listen to these people.
True happiness, like, what does that mean to you? I feel like we all put a certain label on, when I get here, I'm going to be happy. When I make this much money, when I have these many kids, when I get married, when I reach a certain promotion at work. And we tie happiness to a certain goal. And then when we get that goal, we're still not completely fulfilled. And that's my story. And I want to briefly share it with you guys because there are a lot of you that don't know who I am and you're listening to me for the first time.
I think it's funny that she mentions that because that was my experience. If you don't know, I was in a multi-level marketing company. I qualified for the top 2% of Arbonne, and I felt like what she was saying. I would tie happiness, as she puts it, to the goals that I was doing in Arbonne. So I would tie happiness to each bonus that I made or each level that I qualified for or ranked up to. I would tie my happiness to that. And I feel like, personally, I feel like people in multi-level marketing companies experience that a lot. So I think it's funny that she's using this example because I think people in multi-level marketing companies do this all the time. Let's continue.
And then when we get that goal, we're still not completely fulfilled. And that's my story. And I want to briefly share it with you guys because there are a lot of you that don't know who I am and you're listening to me for the first time. But I recently just got a divorce. I was in a 7-year relationship. 5 of those years we were married. And from very early on, since my wedding day, I knew I wasn't in the right relationship, but it was not a bad relationship, okay? And I want you guys to pay attention to that because that is what will keep you in a comfortable place. It's not a bad place, okay? I'm gonna use my example of a relationship. I wasn't in an abusive relationship. I wasn't in a relationship where we were fighting all the time. Like, it was good. It was just chill. It was normal. We became friends. And so I stayed. I joined the business that I'm with now and I started searching for that happiness. And I thought my happiness was getting to the top of the company. I thought my happiness was making my first $1 million. My happiness was moving to the big house and driving my dream car. And I checked all of that off. In less than 3 years, I got to where I never thought I could get and more. And guys, I got there and I had all the things and I was still not 150% fulfilled. And it took a very deep and honest conversation with someone for me to realize that I was ignoring the one thing that was stopping me from being truly happy. And for me, it was that I was settling in my relationship. For you,
I don't hate on anyone that ever gets divorced. I understand that there are a lot of issues that come with that and that lead up to that, and a lot of times people are better off being divorced. Trust me, I understand. Honestly, she is very privileged to be able to leave a situation where she was not fully happy, but living a good life, because a lot of people don't have that privilege. It becomes more prevalent what she's doing later on in the video, but I just wanted to state that to be clear, that if you're in a situation where you're not completely happy with your life and you can't leave, because sometimes you just can't, just know I see you, and I'm always here for a conversation if you ever need one.
It can be that you're settling with a career, at a job, with a friendship, with a spouse, whatever the case may be. You are all settling at something right now because it feels comfortable, because it's what you're used to, because it is safe, because you are scared of the unknown. You are scared of, if I leave this career that I went to school for, that I've been at for 10 years, am I going to be good at anything else? Am I going to get another job? You are scared of, if I leave this relationship that I've been in for 10 years, is it too late? I'm already 50 years old. I'm never going to find love. Or what are people going to think? That was my issue. I have always been so worried about what are people going to think, especially in my place. I made my relationship seem like it was the best thing on earth. I was lying to the world because I was lying to myself, and I believed it. Okay, I didn't believe in divorce. I didn't think divorce was an option. So I had to settle for where I was, not knowing that I was literally running away from true happiness. Okay, so I want you guys to think today, like, what are you settling for? What area in your life is not the best of where it can be? Remember, it doesn't have to be bad. Things don't have to be bad for you to want them to get better. Okay, you can be here and be good, but why not be here and be the best version of you? Your comfort zone is just your line of preference. Okay, you don't feel like you need to do more because you already made it. In my case, I already got married. I already had the baby. Like, that's what we're supposed to do, right? So you get comfortable there. You don't want to make a change. If in your career you already got to your promotion, you're already making 50 career, you already got to your promotion, you're already making $50K a year, and you save $100. Trying to not get off Instagram here. So how long have you been stuck there for? And ask yourself, if in 2, 3, 4, 5 years you're in the same place, you're in the same situation, you're in the same relationship, you're in the same job, you're living in the same place, are you going to be happy? And you know why it's so hard to answer that question? Because a lot of you don't know what true happiness feels like. And you know why I can tell you that? Because I didn't know what true happiness felt like. I thought I did. Guys, I had a great life. I had a son. He is my life. But he is not my life. I have to put myself first. And for my moms on this call, we do that a lot. We put our kids first. Not even my son brought me the ultimate happiness that I feel now.
How do you know that they don't know what true happiness looks like? What kind of high horse is she sitting her ass on for her to say, you don't know what true happiness looks like? How the hell do you know how the hell do you know? And then she says, my son is my world. She said, my son is my life. And then she says, but he is not my life. And then she says, not even my son brought me the ultimate happiness. I don't know. I don't have children. I don't. I'm watching my dog because someone walked by, and she's a guard dog, essentially, and I know she's going to go nuts. Good girl. Good girl. No. No bark. No bark. No. You want to come say hi? Come here, Iris. This is the third dog. So you've seen all 3 of my dogs at this point. This is Iris. She's my dog. She wanted to get down real quick. She's not about that life. Okay, go to bed. The reality she's living in is so weird. I try to get in the same mindset as the person that I'm commenting on, just so I can see where they're coming from. I try to see from both sides. But what she's saying is essentially nothing. She's essentially saying nothing. She contradicts herself through this entire training, and it is so uncomfy. If you want me to get out of my comfort zone, you want me to? Yeah, it's watching your training. I just can't. And it just gets worse from here, honestly. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. It's about to go like straight down. I've noticed this in Monat where they push this really independent lifestyle, and I'm not the only anti-MLM educator to say that, because I've seen other people talk about how Monat, when they join, they lose certain friends, and they always end up getting out of the relationships they joined in. So they join Monat, and they end up breaking up with the person they're dating, or they end up, leaving their friend group and just finding someone else or just essentially being single. And I've noticed this in Monat that happens all the fucking time. I really think this whole Monat and independence has something to do with outside distractions. So like people joining the company and them having outside distraction and outside relationships, and it getting in the way of their Monat business. So the uplines and the company itself, in my opinion, really tries to make sure that those relationships aren't in the way, if you know what I'm saying. Comment below and tell me what you think. Have you experienced that? Have any of y'all experienced that in a multi-level marketing company? Or have any of you been in Monat and experienced that? It just looks like that to me. And I'm not the first one to say that either as an anti-MLM educator. There have been other people who are in the anti-MLM movement who have said that as well. But it's a super weird thing, and it gets even more intense. Okay, let's fall down into the iceberg, to the ice cold fucking ocean that she's about to dive into.
And you know why right now I'm the happiest? Because I'm free. Because I'm being honest. Because I'm living my truth. And my truth was getting a divorce, even though it was against everything I believed in. My truth was coming out to the world and saying like the whole relationship I've been showing you has been fake. Inside I was dying. Inside I was rotting. Inside I was not happy. And like I told you, and I want to emphasize, I know there's a lot of people listening, it was not a abusive relationship. It was not something that I was crying about every day. It was just not good. Okay? Remember what Albert Einstein says. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And if you're in my team, and I tell my girls all the time, you guys are asking me the same question, expecting me to give you a different answer, just because of your lack of execution, your lack of putting yourself out there. So ask yourself, in your current life, in the situation you are today, what are you changing? Okay, what moves are you making differently in order to get different results, in order to experience that true happiness, in order to get uncomfortable? Okay, you need to be better to deserve better. And the best way to be better is to love yourself and put yourself first. And that is something that is so hard for us to do. We always put ourselves last. We don't make ourselves a priority. We think it's selfish. We don't think it's important. We think our kids come first. We think our spouses come first. We think our career comes first. Who's behind all of that? You. And if you are not living your truth, and if you are not truly happy, and if you are not putting yourself first, it's going to crumble. That fake marriage is going to crumble. That job that you hate is going to crumble. Those fake relationships and friendships that you keep around for convenience, they're going to crumble. Because if you are not living your truth, you are not getting ahead in life. You guys are all part of this Millionaire Makers chat because you want more. More motivation, more money, more perspective. You want to be better in a certain area of your life, at least one of them. So you're seeking that, which is great, but you can be seeking all the help, and until you are not ready to help yourself first, none of the help you're receiving will make a difference. Okay?
There's a lot said. So first off, I want to say I respect the fact that she left a marriage she wasn't happy in. I respect it. She wasn't happy. Okay, that's fine. I hope it wasn't Monat that made her leave, but whatever. It's fine. You know, I respect some of the points that she's saying, but it doesn't go with her multi-level marketing company. Like, this is not the situation of using it in, and she's not a therapist. Like, this is not the advice that she should be giving. But we'll get into that later. So, the Albert Einstein quote really backfires on her. Because in multi-level marketing, you're told to do the same thing over and over again. Do what your upline does. Follow what your upline does. Listen, learn, do the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's what you are told to do. Comment below if that's what you were told to do. Were you told to do the same thing your upline does? Were you told to have a list of things and do those things every day and you will rank up and get to the top of the company? Because I was, and I've seen that a lot. So comment below and let me know, what was your experience with that? Because I feel like this Albert Einstein quote, when it talks about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, that's what we do in multi-level marketing companies. The same thing over and over again and expecting the same result. Honey, that backfired on you a bit, baby. That backfired a little bit. Man, you really You really missed the mark with that one. A big yuck for you. Ugh. And then the next part, when she talks about lack of, she's talking to them about, like, you messaged me the same thing, and I, have to essentially tell you the same thing. It's not me, it's your lack of this, your lack of that. It's, of course, their fault. She's making it their fault, of course. Letting them know that they're not good enough. They have to better themselves, be a better person. They're lacking something, they're missing something. Essentially, her intention is listen and do what I say, and you will no longer be lacking. You will no longer be missing. Go through it. Her intention is not to pump them up, get them inspired. Her intention is to pull them into Monat. Her intention is to pull them in and indoctrinate them with these things and essentially point it all back to the company. And then she says, you need to do better to deserve better. What kind of shit is that? You need to do better to deserve better? Excuse me? What does that even mean? I mean, essentially in sports, I guess you could get a gold medal instead of a bronze medal or a silver medal. But as a person in your daily life, you need to do better to deserve better. Deserve what? Deserve a better life? You need to do better to deserve a better life? You need to do better to deserve a better relationship? That is absolutely demeaning. It is disgusting. So essentially, they don't deserve good things right now. They don't deserve better. If they're not doing better in Monat, because that's what she means, because we all know that's what she means. She ties it to Monat too later on. If you're not doing better in this company, if you're not doing better in the business, you don't deserve better. You don't deserve to rank up. You don't deserve to be in the $1 million club. You don't deserve the car. You don't deserve this. That's what it's pointing to. And it's disgusting. No, ma'am, I think you don't deserve it. But that's just me. And then she talks about putting yourself first. And she pushes this the whole freaking video. If I was putting myself first right now, I would not be watching her nasty ass video. That's for damn sure. Because I've had to watch this thing 4 times now, and she reminds me, I don't want to be insensitive and mean, but one more thing is, put yourself first, put yourself first. She says that so much. That is a privilege to put yourself first like that. It is a privilege for people to put themselves first all the freaking time. It's a privilege. It's not possible for everyone. It is not. I am Cece Suarez really knows how to do this. She really prepares herself well with her wine and stuff. I really got to get some alcohol going when I start doing these. But I usually do it at like noon on a Monday, like I am right now. So, I don't know how that works. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let's continue.
Okay. So stop lying to yourself. Stop settling. Stop saying like, I am where I'm supposed to be, or this is where I belong. It's not true. Okay? Stop saying, I'm not in a bad relationship. It could be worse. Or mine is not that bad. He or she will change. My boss is going to get nicer. I will eventually get a raise. What will people say if I went to school for 10 years to become a doctor and now I decide to be an entrepreneur? Oh, it's been too long. I've been in this cycle for 20 years. How am I going to start now? Stop. Those are excuses. And excuses are for losers. And
I want to call her a bad name, but I won't. First, why are you trying to make everyone divorce their husband? What's the issue? And why are you trying to make everyone quit their jobs? Stop. Stop trying to make everyone divorce their significant other and quit their jobs. It's gotta stop. It's disgusting. It's gotta stop. I don't see where she gets off doing this. I am triggered. I'm triggered by her. I mean, what's wrong? What's wrong with waiting to get a raise? What's wrong with it? You're definitely getting paid more in your job than you are in Monat. We saw that at the beginning of the video. Like 93% of the company is making less than $160 a year. Like, wait for that raise, baby. Don't join Monat. Wait for that raise. People on this call look up to her. She's their mentor, and essentially what she's doing at this point is telling them, if you're not completely, fully, completely happy in everything in your life, leave it and stay with us. Leave it and join us. What? Well, that sure sounds like a cult to me. Yikes. And at the end, of course, when she says excuses are for losers, excuse me? Let's read a little bit about excuses. So the definition that I pulled up, I'm literally pulling up the definition because she didn't know what the hell it is. The one I'm looking at is a noun, a reason or explanation put forward to defend or justify a fault or offense. Similarities of word is justification, defense, reason, or explanation. Honestly, there are moments when excuses are not good, like an excuse to go to the gym when you know you should be going, or an excuse to not eat a vegetable when you know you should be eating a vegetable. Instances like that. But an excuse not to join an MLM is valid. You don't have the money, you don't have the time, or you have the time and you don't want to change what your time is put forth into for your multi-level marketing company. You're uncomfortable doing it, or you think it's a scam. I mean, there's multiple excuses, and excuses are for losers. She's just trying to invalidate people. She's just trying to make sure that those on feel very valid for joining, especially if they're going through a time where they're like, oh, I don't know if I should still be doing this. She wants them to realize that anyone who's ever said no is a loser, and if they get out of the company, they are a loser because they've given an excuse. We love to see it.
None of you are losers if you're on this call on a Monday morning. So stop lying to yourself. Stepping out of your comfort zone is like stepping out of a cave. Okay? If you were in a cave, I heard this example in a podcast. Can't remember which one right now, but it's like stepping out of a cave. You're in this cave and you don't know what's outside. It's scary. It's not safe. So you stay in the cave. Okay? You may not be fulfilled. You may not be happy, but you are safe. You are all safe where you are right now. And it's so easy to play it safe. Okay, so step out of the cave. I want you guys to think of your comfort zone like a rubber band. Okay, we can stretch this rubber band, we can stretch this rubber band, we can stretch it. If we stop stretching it, it just goes back to its regular size. But if you stretch the rubber band until it snaps, there's no going back. So you need to stretch that comfort zone until it snaps and you're out of it. You're out of that vicious cycle. And it's going to feel like the world is coming to an end. Because it felt like the world was coming to an end for me. Okay? For those of you that don't know me, again, to give you perspective, 7-year marriage. On social media, we made it seem like it was the best thing on the planet. I never opened up to anyone, not my family, not my best friends, about how I truly was feeling. But you know what? Those people that love you realize it. And they can see through the BS and the act we put up. And it took one person that loves me to come up to me and ask me serious, hard questions that I want you to ask yourself. Think of what is that thing that's lingering in the back of your mind as I'm talking right now. Is it a relationship? Is it?
She says a lot during this entire video. You know why I know you feel that way? Something like that. Because it's what I went through, or it's what I experienced, or it's what happened to me. She thinks that her experience is everyone else's experience, but it is definitely not. So I agree that it is definitely important to step out of your comfort zone. I'm not ragging on that. But I don't agree that when you step out of your comfort zone, you should feel like the world is ending. You can step out of your comfort zone and learn a lot and do a lot of cool things, but in Monat, that does not relate.
Is it a job? Is it a boss? What is it? A friendship? Something is there and you're like, okay, this is like, I've been settling for. And I was asked, are you truly happy? And of course I said, yes. Because who's going to say no? Who's going to admit, no, I'm not truly happy? We won't, because we have egos and we care too much what people think. And we rather die in misery inside and put up a show for the world to see. Because we're here to please everyone except ourselves, right? Wrong. That needs to stop today. So I was asked this question, are you happy? And I said, yes. Are you sure you're happy? And I said, yes. They go, what makes you happy? What about being in this relationship makes you happy? And I'm like, I'm just happy. Like, he's a good dad. Like, he's my husband. I had no substance to my answers because there was no substance to my relationship. There was no substance to my life. And no money and no success and no mansions and no cars and no trips were going to fulfill that like emptiness that I felt inside. Okay? We're always in a constant battle between our brain and our gut. Your gut is like your emotional compass. It knows what you should do, that gut feeling you have. Your brain is your safety net. And your brain is always going to try to talk you out of everything that's scary, that's different, because it's protecting you. That's the job of the brain, okay? So are you following your brain or are you following your gut? Your gut feeling is always right. And it's going to feel like it's the scary thing to do, like it's the wrong thing to do, like it's not necessary. I'm here telling you today that it is. I'm here telling you that
Was that painful for you to listen to? That was so painful for me. I was like, quit, stop while you're ahead. Don't say it, don't. And then she said it. Here's the deal. She just said, do not use logic. Your brain is logic. My therapist, she's a doctorate. She's a badass, by the way. She's thebomb.com. She said, 2 brains. You have your emotional brain and your logical brain. The key to react to something or to think about something is for them to combine and for you to be able to use both appropriately. Some people use their logical side too much. Some people use their emotional side too much. But it's important to be able to use them both appropriately. And she literally just said to only use your emotional side of your brain. She didn't say use your brain at all, essentially, but that's what she meant, right? Just use your gut. Don't use your brain. Don't use your logic. Just go for it. Just act on your emotions only. And I can only think that is how every single person in Monat thinks. I can only think that is how people in multi-level marketing companies think. They don't use logic. You could show them all the facts in the entire world that what they're doing is a scam or a pyramid scheme or hurting people, and they would say, you're wrong, it's a great opportunity. No, it's freaking not. No, it's not. You just won't listen. You legitimately will not tap into your critical thinking. Ugh, it is exhausting. It is exhausting. I have people come on my TikTok and they're like, oh, you probably failed out of an MLM and that's why you're so bitter and doing this. Nah, bitch, not really. Actually, I did pretty damn good in the one that I was in. I got to the top 2% and I said, oh shit, this is a scam. And I left. And then they shut up afterwards, but I'm telling you, I'll go to TikTok. It's fun. Walking on Lex Pro. We'll put that in there. But seriously, I mean, this is an incredible example of what they do, which is not think. They just don't think. And the thing is, there could be extremely intelligent people, which there are, extremely intelligent people who join a company. But indoctrination is what happens from the start. Love bombing, support, community. If you remember last week's video with the YoungLiving training, the first 30 days, they are going hard. They are with their mentor every day, talking every day, going through every single day, learning every day, love bombing, constantly growing together, and then afterwards they drop them like a bad habit unless they're doing really good. But even extremely intelligent people are prone to indoctrination. No one is safe from it if they aren't educated on it. If they don't know, if they aren't educated on what it is, they're not safe from it happening to them. That's why it's important that we continue to push the anti-MLM movement and spread education about it.
That one decision that seems like it's going to make your life end will actually be the decision that's going to start your life over. I don't care if you're 18 or I don't care if you're 70 years old. I don't care if you've been in that terrible job for a month or if you've been in that terrible job for 15 years. I don't care if you just got with your boyfriend yesterday or if you've been married for 30 years with 5 kids. It is not too late to put yourself first. Okay, I want you guys to get rid of comfort zone and start thinking of necessary zone. Okay? So it is necessary to keep growing. Your growth in character deepens relationships. You feel more alive. It's not an aspiration to be better. It's a must to be better. So let's look at that necessary zone. Like, I need to grow. I need to be better. I need to do more. I need to receive more. And look at 3 areas in your life and find that necessary. And these areas are relationships, career, and health. Okay? What is that necessary zone in those areas? And how can you be better at that? It's a need, it's not a want. You need to change. Don't wait for tragedy. Don't wait for scarcity. Don't wait for obligation. Don't wait for it to be too late. It is so much easier to stay comfortable than to try. And I know a lot of you think it's too late. Because you know what the crazy thing about social media is? That when I was going through my process, I shared a little bit because I'm very open with my followers. And, very surface. And the amount of people that have reached out to me and said, Joe, thank you. Thanks to you, I'm leaving this toxic relationship. Thanks to you, I'm quitting because my boss treats me like shit. Thanks to you. And I was like, all I did was share my experience. But what happens is that we are all so scared to speak up. Okay, it always takes one person to have courage and to tell you, hey, you're going to be okay. It's going to be hard, but choose your heart. It's hard to be unhappy, and it's hard to chase happiness, especially because of all of the outside world. But choose your heart.
She's essentially implying that Monat is what you need to grow. I mentioned that earlier. So she's a mentor, right? She's at the top of Monat. She's saying, been there, done that. Monat is what got me where I am today. That's what she's implying. Reading between the lines, the implication of her indoctrination is saying that Monat got me where I am today. It'll get you there too. But you have to choose to change who you are now. You need to change. No, you don't. You don't need to change. Your MLM is not going to help them change, and if it does, it's not for the better. There might be someone asked me previously, what is something that I learned from my MLM? There's at least one thing that I learned from my multi-level marketing company that was helpful, and it was just how to put myself out there. Now, I know, little giggle there, I get it, I know. Because, you put yourself out there in MLMs, and it's absolutely annoying. But now, I'm doing these videos, and I wouldn't have done it before. Wouldn't have done these videos before. You don't need to change. And a multi-level marketing company is not going to help you. If you're watching this and you're like, wow, I was thinking of joining one, which if you probably aren't still watching it if you're there, not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, not going to do that. Might brainwash you, in my opinion.
My heart has brought me the most happiness I've ever experienced in my life. Okay? So I have realized that throughout me sharing my experience, my story, my journey, there are so many people hiding behind a mask, hiding because they're not happy, not being fair to themselves. And let me tell you something, by you staying in a comfortable situation, by you staying in a place of safety, the only person you're hurting is yourself. You are not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. You are not giving yourself the life that you deserve, because only you know how you truly feel, and you're keeping yourself in a place where you are not happy. Because what are people going to say? Because it's been too long. Because this is what I studied. Because my parents would kill me. Because what is the world going to say? Because what are my kids going to say? Because too many people look up to me now and it's too late. No, nothing matters if you are not truly happy and fulfilled. So I want you guys to ask yourself that today. What is my comfort zone? What am I settling for? Who am I settling for? And why am I settling? It's terrifying to make change. Yes. It's terrifying to pick up and leave. Yes. It's terrifying to start over. Yes. But it's more terrifying to die tomorrow and know you didn't live your truth. It's more terrifying to know that you didn't give it your all. It's more terrifying to know that you didn't see what you were capable of doing. You don't know what that amazing side of you looks like, and you're scared of it. You're scared to see how good you can be. You're scared to see that you can try this new business and become super successful.
It's more terrifying, honestly, that she's giving this kind of advice to people when she didn't know what the hell she's saying. That's what's most terrifying. She says, you're not happy. How the heck do you know that? How the heck do you know that these people aren't happy? Because they aren't you? Because they aren't in the 1% of Monat, whatever the frick it's called? What the heck? So demeaning, so disgusting. The way that these people talk to their downline is astonishing to me. The fact that she thinks she knows exactly what they're going through. She doesn't, but she makes them think that she does. She's fooling them. She wants them to start the business and continue to go for it and motivate them so that she can make more money. She says, you're scared. What? Scared of what? I ain't scared of you, that's for sure. Listen, I'm about to post up right here, right now. I'm about to post up right here, right now. But I won't. Because I have 5% left on my iPad. And this video needs to conclude soon because it's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I just had a lot to say. And I hope you have stuff to say in the comments. I always love to hear your commentary as well.
I was scared of it. I was scared to see if I tried this business, where would it take me? What would I do with millions of dollars? I was scared of being a single mom. I was scared of what people are going to say. I was scared of my own potential, and I was not allowing myself to get there. And right now I've been getting here, and I'm just getting started, and I've loved every single second of it. Every struggle, every lesson, every setback that I just bounced up from, it's been worth it. So I ask you today to start living for you, to start living your truth, to start getting so uncomfortable it hurts, to start getting so uncomfortable you don't realize, you don't recognize, what you're doing. You don't recognize the person that you are trying to become. You don't recognize all the changes you are making. Don't be consumed by the way people see you. Don't be consumed by what you have shown in the past, what you have said in the past. The past is yesterday and it's gone. And the future is tomorrow and it's not promised. The present is right now. And right now you are on this call for a reason. And right now you're thinking about something that you're settling with or for. And right now you are saying, should I try to make a change? Or it's too hard. Sorry, Joe. Thanks for the message, but it's just hard. And that's the thought that went through my head when that person came up to me and I had that conversation with her. And I didn't admit anything to her. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll think about it. She got out of my car, guys, and I started bawling. And I said, this is my chance to break free from the lie I've been living or to keep swallowing it for the rest of my life. I'm only 28 years old. My son is going to be 18 and he's going to leave at some point. Am I going to continue living for the lies, for the shows, for social media, for my son, for the fake family? Or am I going to start living for myself? And it was rough. It was so rough. I was like, you really want me? You think I can get a divorce now? Everything I've done, everything. Yeah, it's never too late. Okay? Your happiness comes before everyone else's. And for my moms, yes, even your kids. Your happiness comes before your kids' happiness. Because if you are not happy, you can't be a good mom. If you are not happy, you can't be a good wife. If you are not happy, you can't be a good sister, a good friend, a good co-worker, a good leader. So ask yourself, am I truly happy?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Do you know what the hell she's saying? Yeah, me the fuck neither. Me neither. What? She said, I loved every single second of it. No, you didn't. That's a lie. I know it's a lie. You're already lying. I know you've been lying, but you're lying already. I know. She says, start living for you. In her context, again, she's implying to start the business. Start living for you. She's implying to start the business. Start making money. And, some of her sentences, some of the things that she's saying isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in this context, it's shit. It's shit. But in everyday life, if someone was trying to motivate someone, some of these things are great. But right now it's indoctrination. And right now it's really awful to use it because the way she's using it, gross. She says, start getting so uncomfortable that it hurts. You don't recognize yourself and you don't recognize what you're doing, essentially. Like, you don't recognize yourself? Start getting so uncomfortable that it hurts? You don't recognize yourself? I would like to announce a Dundee Award for this woman for saying the most idiotic statements back to back to back to back that make essentially no sense whatsoever in the context that we are in, and gaslighting along the way. Enjoy your Dundee Award. She says, don't be consumed by the way people see you. Don't listen to your friends and family when they start to say that something's wrong or that they see something different about you. Don't be consumed with it the way that they see you. Just to top it off, she really hits the nail on her own mother freaking coffin when she says, you aren't happy. If you aren't happy, you can't be a good mother, a good coworker, or good anything. What about the parents that have to work extremely hard to take care of their family? What about the brothers and sisters that are forced to raise their brothers and sisters and don't get the time that they want to be happy and don't get the childhood that they deserve? I mean, seriously? What a jerk. People don't get to just make themselves happy and be happy 24/7 and be the main star of their world. Things happen. Ugh, she's giving me a motherfucking headache.
Some things that helped me. Number one is you have to acknowledge it. You need to have the guts to say, I'm settling for this. I'm not happy in this area. I am not truly happy in this area. Stop freaking worrying about what you tell the world. I can think of so many friends off the top of my head right now that I know they're not happy, but they're literally repeating my story. And I'm like, girl, learn from me. No, it's too scary. So number one is acknowledge it. Where are you lacking? Where are you settling? Where are you not truly happy? Where are you putting up a show? Number two is start taking the right action steps. And they start with looking within. Okay, reading, getting a lot of books that have to do with whatever issue you're going through. Personal development, practicing self-love, practicing what it is to put yourself first for one day. Make one small change a day. I know it's very drastic to go from being, an employee for 10 years to someone to quitting. I don't expect you to quit your job from one day to another, but start exploring what else can you do that makes you happy. Maybe another job, maybe another career. Okay, it's not easy to leave a relationship from one day to another, even though I did it, because I know when I'm going after something, I don't look back. But not everyone is like that. So little steps, but number one, acknowledge it. Number two, be very clear of where you want to go, and you can never look back. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what people say, no matter everything that comes your way, you can never look back, because you looking back is that rubber band's just shrinking back to your comfort zone. You need to keep running so fast forward that rubber band will snap. You're out of that comfort zone and you're starting to live a new life.
Cool analogy, wrong use of it when we're talking about her multi-level marketing company. Don't look back, meaning don't think critically about what you're doing, right? Don't stop and think, is this a good idea? Is what I'm doing a good thing? Just go head on, go straight, don't stop. That's what she's talking about. Break that motherfucking rubber band. This analogy is not working for her. Doesn't make sense in this situation.
So guys, whether this is a career change that I'm inspiring you to take, a relationship change, a lifestyle change. Remember, one of the three things that I said you need to look at your necessary zone is your health. Okay? Are you smoking too much? Are you drinking too much? Are you doing drugs? Are you obese? Are you not going to the gym? Are you not having healthy eating habits? Okay? It's relationships, career, and health. Those are the three things we need to look at, our necessary zones. And for me, I was all the way up in my career, I was all the way up in my health, and my relationship was non-existent, basically. So check those three areas out for you and see where you have to make the changes. At the end of the day, you are, your body is your temple, you are your savior. Like, no one is coming out to save you. You need to look out for yourself. And if you can't even be honest with yourself, you cannot be honest with the world. And keep that in mind. Okay, I always tell my team, like, hold yourself accountable. Be a woman of your word. For our business, like I always tell them, if you say you're gonna hit a rank, hit the freaking rank. Why is it that when you promise something to someone else, you get it done, but when you promise something to yourself, you don't? And the perfect example is the gym. Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, you never wake up, you get tired. It's okay, because no one knew you were going to the gym. But if you tell someone, I'm going to be in your house at 6 a.m., you don't care what happens, you show up because you don't want to look bad with that person. How about looking bad with yourself? How about you respect yourself a little more to say, Joe, you told yourself you were going to do this, you make it happen. The weight of what you tell yourself, like, has so much more power than what you tell others. And once you start taking yourself more seriously and respecting yourself more, everyone else will take you more seriously. And everyone else will respect you more. But you need to be living your truth. And you need to start getting uncomfortable. And you need to go after the unknown. Because for me, the unknown has been life-changing. For me, the unknown was literally a rebirth. I'm a completely different person. I will tell everyone my life started over at 28 years old. The unknown for you could be your unanswered prayers. But you're not going to get the unknown if you stay in that comfortable cave of yours. Okay? I want to remind you that you're not alone. Everyone here is settling in one way or another. Everyone here is lying in one way or another. But worry about you and take care of you. And look at those changes for you. And do you for you. And be selfish. Be super freaking selfish. I am giving you permission to be selfish. Because when I started being selfish and I started putting myself first, that's when the glow up happened for me. That's when everything started working out for me. Okay? I know this was a little, I want to say like deep, but I feel like someone had to hear it. And if it hits one person in this call and I inspire you to just make...
Wow. She put this out publicly for everyone to see. She just doesn't think that looks bad. She just doesn't think that's a bad video. Oh my gosh. It is a disgusting video. It's awful. Thank goodness that video's over. Eep. I will never be watching that again, hopefully, because every time I got more and more upset when I watched it. And the indoctrination, what she was doing was just gross. But I encourage you to take, again, another look at the BITE model: behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. And you just need like 3 of those things from each to become a cult, to essentially to define if something is a cult or not. And anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your little alert button thingy so that when my videos come out, you can know and watch them. Some really juicy ones coming your way very soon. My content calendar's over there, and I have a lot of research to do. But thank you so much for hopping on and watching this video. Comment below your commentary on it. I would love to have a conversation about it. Enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time.